All right, folks, let's get right to it. A lot to discuss today. What's going on? Settle on in, and we will kind of run through the big developments right now. Nasdaq up 320, all-time new highs, and just continuing to unfold on track. On track. What's the target? 26.5. And I think even in the short term, everyone's now going to chase this. Anybody that wasn't in now is absolutely FOMO city. We're almost there. Check this out. Even from the August little mini correction, 1618 is like 24.9. If you're looking for targets, they're still higher. Yep. So great to see everybody. Come on, settle on in. And we will deep dive crypto because I would say this is the last week. This is it. I don't think we're going to be waiting after this week. We're really not going to be waiting uh, anymore. So any position, anything that's set up at this point from what people are expecting, here it is. Just like last year too. Here we go. So right now, 24,784 on Nasdaq. I think it's 24.9. As I said last time, we switched into the December contract. Our original target for the year on the September futures contract was 24.4. This 24.9, I'm fine. It's 25,000. Doesn't matter. That's always been kind of the big fat number. I expect us to smash through this. And the bigger target still, the whole 1618 expansion of what started from the beginning of the year to that corrective move. That's it. That's what we're doing. That'll be the predominant measurement we're looking for going forward across the board. That's a 26.7. Again, we were talking 26.5, but because of the contract change, it's certainly well above 25. So that's it, and you see these things continuing to pop off left and right. I wouldn't. Why would Nasdaq stop today? There's just nothing. Path of least resistance continuing after these type of corrective moves. The 30-second chart. Now we're getting into some real nice harmonic action where during a lot of the summer we weren't getting anything. And this is an ideal kind of back-to-back-to-back framework all morning long. So just to show you guys that, a couple things on the short-term time frame for today. I still say we get above 820, 815 should be, that's like 40 higher. Keep an eye on that one. Let's just jump really quick. I'll circle back onto some stocks because, well, before I do, the big story though in the whole tech sector, which has been what we've talked about all along, is the semiconductors. And the stocks leading the way in technology. That's how the stocks, hold on, let's get it right. The stocks was key. Here it is. There's a better one to get the stocks index here. And the stocks is doing exactly what it should do. Here you go. 6,300 all-time new highs, guys. Here, check it out. Remember what we talked about, this going straight to the hop at 61.45. We're through it. And smashing through it. So, new cycle, bigger acceleration. This crab pattern has served its purpose. Okay? And so whatever was going to go down here at 5,200, really since beginning 2024 is done, and you're thinking, all right, a lot like S&P 500, that's just continues to rocket higher. A couple more. Um, well, check out KLAC, which is another one and again, it's just gone. KLAC, we've been talking about that since 650, now 1,000. And these are big, massive, smashing breakouts. One or two of the things that I mentioned last week are already starting to turn. On semiconductor, ON is on time. I mean, recovery stuff. That's really setting up that daily trigger. Couple of patterns at like 46, now 52. I don't think anything's really going to stay down here much longer. I think GFS, Global Foundries, was something else we talked about. Perfect daily setup on GFS. Confirmation, XA's 3273. I mean, if you're looking for patterns right now, things that haven't moved yet, there you go. Couple more. All in the semis. I mean, because the semis are just destroying ASML. Look at what that did, too. Another one, 934. Just remarkable, okay? And even, what was the other one? Well, I think the other one is AMD that, is pulling back, but we're really close to, I think, ending this little retracement. You have a whole bunch of patterns here, but best situation would be for this to come down. I don't think we're going to ever get a type 2. I think we're looking for something oversold. And you're there. AMD is weekly oversold already. Just hasn't turned. So if that turns, it's just going to be a high level continuation. Not look back. So this is just, it's powerful stuff, guys. Really powerful stuff. Let's get to right off the bat, Bitcoin, because I think, speaking of power, I'll jump back to stocks in a couple minutes, but I think Bitcoin deserves heightened attention now because we're about 118. Okay, so we're sticking the levels. 111, fantastic. Okay, 118, there you are. Here's the point where we start looking. Are we going to see some kind of smash through, any kind of confirmation? We're back there. So for everybody that was kind of freaking out, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks ago down here, and we just kept saying 111, that's pure framework in action. This stuff takes time. We're moving point to point, like one segment per month. I mean, think of it like that, where, look, this little segmented move, we've been up almost 25, 30 days, okay, as one move. The prior down move from August, mid-August, all the way to the end, early September, treat that as a whole segment unto itself. We had some numbers at 123. Had big numbers at 111. Now we have numbers at 118. All right? But just stay patient with it. It is doing what it naturally needs to do to kind of stair step higher. 123, 125. I think those are numbers where eventually you crack them and you go, and it's probably, I said this before, and it would be the ideal scenario for Bitcoin. We're at 118. You got it, just give it to me. What was the high? The high so far is like 117,903. I've been saying 118. I'm saying it's here. Okay, so what would be the best thing, in my opinion, to set up some kind of larger bust out move? And we've seen it on a number of assets. We've seen things explode. after they do a little retracement and then do the return and fail. So if this is the next 10 days, 2 weeks, so be it. But that should be literally it. And I almost equate, if we get this retracement back to 111 or like 113, 114, this is kind of like the last retrace of 62,000 or 65,000. I mean, it's of that consequence, and you're taking your time, working your way up, but it's that big. And then there's nothing above all the. This is full. It's not only full price discovery, but it's accelerated price discovery above there. 124, 125, 126. Bye bye. Yeah. Yeah, we can look at a couple of those. We can't. Yeah, I'll look. I'm gonna circle back on some of those other stocks in a second. Hold on one second. Everybody, really quick, new folks, guys, get with the software that we're working with. Get it for TradingView by sending your TradingView username to hpc at sr-analyst.com, and then all the other information are for free. I have some interesting like educational projects we're looking at developing. The other thing I just to highlight. So I this is just kind of me still fooling around with the software, but this bottom indicator, this is a combination of HSI and amplified, and so I just wanted to kind of sneak peek this to you all. This could be it might be something that comes out soon. It's not. It's just the summation of the two. But you know how I'm always saying let's get both of them at the same extreme, which does help. Where if HSI is at an extreme, but amplified isn't quite there, is it really oversold? Down here, Bitcoin. Okay, there's amplified is oversold, HSI is oversold. Together, both of them, they are technically oversold. I'm even trying to work on the levels. The current levels are we're using HSI constraints 886, 113. You don't get as many extreme signals. The last one, even on Bitcoin here, 4-hour chart that we saw was like mid-August. So that's something I might roll out, let you guys test it, especially new folks, the next week or two. But what I'm really getting at is lining up these extremes, short-term extremes to kind of launch and resolve that long-term target. The combination indicator that is down here, I'm trying to really gauge the trend, and not only that, but when that might be over. Even like how far are we going to go? Because I'm looking at stuff like this. You can't really. Maybe that's not the best. I should be changing that color. Uh, yeah, let me change that color. Nice. Better. Okay, good. So let me just show you guys this. So some of the things that I'm looking at and thinking about for Bitcoin that are kind of barometric readings, so to speak, of what's the buying pressure, what's the selling pressure like, and I think utilizing HSI or even something like this, and as long as we're above the 50 and we're above the 50 level and stay that on the monthly, we still have those upside possibilities. Okay, and interestingly enough, okay, look where this combo indicator really crossed, which was early 23, and we know what happened. And that was the first time, really, since crossing as the sell signal back in June 21. It's pretty remarkable. So HSI amplified. I like them both. I'm looking for absolute filter kind of material things. especially if we get into this run for Bitcoin and we make the run for the extreme levels, and then the indicators start rolling over. But I will make this available. Give me a week or so. This will be for all current people and for the trials. And there's a few other things that we're gonna bring. You guys know I'm always tinkering with this stuff. There's something that my partner laid on me recently about we're going to be able to do some statistical quantifications soon, pattern types, signal types, that we weren't able to do before. So just throwing that out there. This combo indicator is kind of like the beginning stages. For now, Bitcoin still maintaining this 50 level. And like I said, ever since, what was that? Right back in early February, late January, that was the signal. And I would be looking for the same kind of a thing here, where in the coming 2 or 3 months, of course, if we hit major targets, great. But from a true standpoint of weakness, when does the real action start to break down? It'll be stuff like this, breaking the 50 and then really kind of cracking under the 50 and staying there for a while. Not there yet. In fact, be clear. The last test back in April was a pretty substantial higher confirmation at 76K. So everything on target, on track. Right now, 4-hour time frame is the only thing you care about. Talk to me at 118 here. And then let's go. Hold on one second. We better be okay. Yeah, we're good. So I'm looking at this kind of scenario, but it's the window is shrinking, and I'm thinking that it's probably going to resolve itself uh, in the next 10 days. Coming into the end of the month, and this has not been the negative historical September performance. So what about some other things? Okay, really quick. Something that I'm going to come back to some things that I think are moving, and I'll highlight one or two things that I think I'm looking at things that might have had the big first move already. Chronos CRO. I told you guys this, that I was really impressed. This is something I've owned at various times, and I always wondered why it was $1 billion valuation down at like 8 cents. I still say that this thing currently $8 billion valuation. And I'm going to get to Coinbase and a couple others here in a second. This thing is undervalued. Just in terms of the name, the number of assets, how much crypto they're holding or could be holding or could have to, are opened up to. And so I'm looking at things like this pretty soon. We get it like a yellow dot here, guys, in the next few days. That would be the next level continuation. And it's something where this is kind of like the first thrust type of thing. And we've seen it. I mean, we've seen it in a lot of these minor type plays, but we're looking for stuff that's going to do this, okay? They're going to go up, have their crazy move, then they're going to have their nice 30-bar retracement, okay, come in, maybe 618, and then go again. We're at that point where we can start thinking about these type of moves, where I'm looking at CRO down here in the low 20s, that this has already kind of done the breakout. And this is one that has really progressing off. It's not, we're nowhere near all-time lows. And it's like this. There you go. Making progress. One of a few that I think it's time to kind of jump on them. The other one is SUI, where these are going to start to really bust out of the year-long range. This is the other one here. We talked about this down at 310, 308. It was a shark to 50. And that 50 is done. And that 50 really wasn't even a full 50. I'm thinking SUI is ready to do the continuation move. It's 395 now. We're talking like 465 bucks from here. Yep. Oh yeah, we'll get to Intel in a second. I wanted to save Intel because we have talked about Intel quite a bit, and I think that's only the beginning. But for today, we want to dive deep on stuff like this and a bunch of the other crypto, less crypto, uh, T coins, really. And because I think it's time to be sizing this stuff up. Where is this one? 1 second. Hold on. So here's something that is. I brought this up. Let's quick peek at Solana. Solana guys here at 250, awesome. Talk to me. We get to 260, 280. Couple of intermediate patterns, don't worry about them. It's more about the weekly chart. You're up here, run to the hop at 285. All right, and then the other thing about Solana is this going to be the time where we run through it. I don't think you have anything to worry about until your weekly HSI gets into the overbought and inflects, and that's several bars away. You got this week, you got next week, you got the next couple of weeks. All right, and 285. Long as that continues, that's great. Also, the whole fact that we've hit the pattern here, 225 was the target all along. Okay, hit that. What are we doing immediately? Couple days in now. Real nice continuation. Whole bunch of them are just setting up ready to go like that. Yeah. Render? Yeah, well, here's the thing about Render. And Render and a bunch of these others, we have been waiting for a long time. That's not the one I'm looking for. Hold on. Hold on. Where is it? What happened to all my sources here? Don't know. Render is still the big. Don't know where it happened, but it's this massive weekly bullish pattern. Come on. Hold on a second. I don't know what happened to my data feed on Render. 350 generally is what we've been looking at. Now $4. A lot of people have been talking about Render. There it is. Actually, 275 is the XA level T1. We were just down there. I mean, amazing. And that was back in June. So now 410. I think this is another sleeper. It just needs the cycle to heat up. But here's something else. And we could pull this down on all of your favorite crypto that have done this in the last, if it's a year or 2 years. They had their move. They come back, do the 886 reset. Now what? Well, we're running out of time. That's on an uptrend. I like what I see there. I don't think this is going to be massive just yet, but we're breaking out of these downtrend possibilities. I would even say that the real breakout happened back here, and it was July. Here's the retest, 350-ish. You're going to have to be patient, but that's a heck of a chart, guys. I mean, things can really happen. You know that you're, longer term. This kind of reminds me of Chainlink at like $9. All right. You're off the all-time low, steady uptrend. You had price discovery. You came back. You're at a swing 886. It's probably a larger 618 all-time kind of a thing like this. There. Yeah, 886. It was almost perfect. There's the 886 like that, $2. This at the absolute low was like 250. So I just, time to kind of distinguish what ones have real nice patterns on uptrends, what other ones are, maybe just, yeah, you can monitor them, but they don't have this kind of long term support against them. Once we get going above here for render, yeah, you got a lot to go on. Here's another one. I know I've mentioned this a few times. Stronghold has done a few of these retracements. And hold on, where is that? Come on back. Here we go. So I'm really watching this. I'm still long this. I've been in and out of this over the last probably 18 months. All the way back down here, out here, back in here, and here. And now looking for the larger return. And this is related to XRP and XLM, which are also, I think it's just a matter of time. Here's XRP making its way back up. Where's the daily? We'll even go weekly here. I think we just waiting for this thing to resolve itself. Some kind of massive God candle above 350, 370, and I still say that $4 is not an upside. It's just like kind of the beginning. The way that I'm looking at XRP here, just so you guys know, it's projecting these kind of long-term patterns. There you go. That's the proper feed. I don't even have to do it. All the patterns that we were looking at over a year ago or more, 2 years ago, of the bat to go what I think will be 3618 discovery right here at $3, 310. That's the 1618. That's why we're kind of stalling, but I'm not really. I just think if we were going to go lower, it would have been under that 180. Never did. And pretty much since this look down here, the good kind of pausing support identifier. So that's like $3. We're 310 right now. If that comes back again to 90, under 3, probably the next time, because this is going to get ready to resolve what I think will be to the upside. And then once we do, going into the end of the year, you find yourself at like 5. I think 5. My super upside target was like 8. And then Stellar Lumens is back here trying to make another sizable move after these daily high-level HSIs. So where a lot of these are, interesting spot of, for example, Stellar Lumens did the 1 and then the 2 and then did this massive move. But right here, this secondary double dot oversold confirmation is where a larger move, if the type 2 is going to go, it should be from there. No retest, not rolling back down. I mean, it's there. That number is like 37 cents. And like the rest of them, just look. Most people are just looking at this wedge trying to break out. That's it. So where are we relative to the whole time frame? Coming into this fall season of, crypto fireworks, high level wedge, bullish confirmation on the daily. Okay, a little bit of a, little something here right now. HSI is a little bit overbought at the moment, but I'm not too concerned. Even the combo indicator, which is, I'm going to want to get this to you guys. I haven't had enough time with it, and I'm going to probably adjust the constraints, but I think it's something that is worthwhile. So even that's at a 50, returning back up. I think so. Look, XLM is like all of these, the XRP, Even lesser extent, they're talking XDC here, and XDC is a shark to 5.0. So here's XDC network. It's kind of like related to Stronghold, SHX. What do we have? Bullish 5.0. This is a shark type 1. And then bang, 1, 2, 3. I've been saying 7.9 cents for a while. Can we break out here and then return it back to 10? I kind of like it. And the other thing I like about this is that, can we get our combo HSI indicator, get that above? That's what I'm looking at. I will get this to you guys really soon because it's helpful. I don't want to have plastering too many indicators. In fact, I'm trying to simplify. I even thought about, if this worked, why don't we just feature that as kind of like the combination. More on that to come. I don't know what a dragon is. The dragon is not me. What's up, Mezzo? Thanks. I appreciate it, but that's not me. I don't know what the dragon is. William wants to look at Cubic. Cubic, is this something I need to be in? William? Is this something, I mean, look, you've been banging on this all summer. So there's got to be something here, because that is, I know you've been talking about this since May, June, when it was at 13. Let's just call it 0.13. Forget all of the other exponential zeros. Let's just call this 15. 15,404. I mean 15,000-ish. 15,000th. And then it doubled to 35 more than. Now we're back down. Type 2 still, but I like what you have. A couple more days. Look, price development, guys. I'm a big believer in that. Big part of what we do in our sessions. Line up, the best opportunities coming together now, but we still know that this stuff can take many bars, 3, 5, 7, 10 bars even. But here right at like, 0.2 or 2 millionths of a cent, whatever the hell it is. Trying to stabilize. It's like SUI. SUI had the shark to 5.0. It took a little time. Yeah. We're there. Couple more. Things that people are, at least what I see a lot of, people talking about, well, here's the Pendle. Okay, here's Pendle. I don't know what this is. Anybody know what this is? Pendle? I think it's a great chart, and I think we've started kind of a return move, shark to 5.0 again. I've noticed these, and I'm thinking, look, if the net result, think of it this way, if the net result of this incoming markup cycle, and that's what you're looking for, we're looking for a massive 3-month or 6-month, maybe it's only 4 months markup cycle that takes things to a new level. For Pendle, we've been here between $2.50 and $8, $7.50. 5-point range, $5 range. And now we're, shark to 5.0. Lots of patterns, really clear kind of targets. And Pendle is just another one where I'm curious that can it do the shark, go to the 5.0, and should we be thinking, it's 5.30 here, looking like 7 or something bigger? Yeah, I hear you guys about the dragon. I just don't do it. I don't include it. I don't consider it. Everything that I need is in the MWs and the shark and the 5.0 structures. I tried them all. I don't have anything to do with that. But a couple more, okay, that aren't you guys are not looking at. Or maybe you are, but they're definitely coming together. Um, so where is it Ondo? So I think is it Ondo that did the move here? Yeah, Ondo Finance, guys, another one that everyone's talked about. I really like the last 2 months, 3 months here. Now, the washout in July was the same as April. It's like 60, 75. You're now a buck. You're not going to get that, but if you get back to like 95 cents, making your way up, this has got possibilities. Okay, because this kind of a thing is happening a lot. I highlight this because I want everyone to be searching for trending crypto that have retracements just like this. Going into the next 3 months, if you're going to play these T coins and be looking for things that go from $1 to two or something crazier, it's going to be launched off of stuff like that. And I bring up OKB as that very the same prime example. OKB was just another OK coin that had slowly, all the way back here, ICO in 22. It just keeps coming out, boom, back, sideways, boom, sideways, ping ponging patterns, and then you get like the God event. And this is happening to everything, but this is what you're looking for, right? This is the kind of thing that we're, we're all positioning for. Hey, give me one of those at least. Give me whatever. Here you go, shark to 5-0. This kind of a thought. There's a shark, bearish pattern, goes to target, and then does the return phase where it just, 4,000 bucks is now 20, 25, whatever. Think of it that way. Buy 100 of those. Buy 1,000 of those. Again, but you're positioning it for that return. One or two more. What is MYX? Why did I hear about that last time? Didn't that thing skyrocket? MYX. Don't know what that MYX Finance. Yeah. I can't offer anything. That's why it did skyrocket. So I kind of still, the remaining brain cells are still functioning, folks. But yeah, I don't know. That's 10 cents. That's $14. Okay, what do you do? I mean, 10 cents to $14. You're going to stay long? I don't know. I can't offer anything to go in there because I don't know anything about the project, but I will say this. That's an extreme move, but what is the consistent kind of event that's preceding these monster moons? Okay, monster setup it already kind of shows its hand, doesn't it? Here's something. Wow, 15 cents. Wow, goes to $2, 2.30. That's amazing. But then it comes back and then look, perfect dot, oversold confirmation, kind of like everything we're talking about right now of did it break the downtrend? Did we get, are we, is this correction over? Do we have some kind of oversold dot? What about our combo indicator? Where does that go to the 50? Oh, like right there. Things like that. You don't know it's going to skyrocket, but it is the kind of pullback, here is first thrust, as I like to call it, telling you I'm in play. Come on back. All right. Then maybe 6 weeks later, you get a signal. I'm just saying, that is happening a lot. What about here? Look. What about what's his face? Tom Lee's Bitminer thing. It's that here, the Bitmine inversion technologies, BMNR. That's at 60. Whatever this was at $5 goes to 150, then all the way back down to 33. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, really, this is an aggressive, this is what happens in aggressive bull markets. You will get plenty of opportunity, and they will have crazy moves like this. And here we go again. One, and then the second dot, which was just 5 days ago at 46, now 60. I'll give you a couple more. Now I'm kind of segueing out, but what about Rigetti, guys? Rigetti. We talked about Rigetti. Where? All the way back here at 11 as a failed bat, looking for it to continue, and then again at 15. And now 25. What's the other one? And I really focus on these. If it's crypto, if it's tech, there's a consistent kind of signature these are giving us. Here's SoundHound, AI. Was a shark all the way to 5.0. Okay, we were on that 10, 11-ish. And I think, where's the other one? Not quite there yet. Someone asked me about CXAI, and yeah, that's the other one. Where, are we running yet? No, not CAI. This was, this is another one. CXAI, I've been saying for a while, watch it. Literally, this is the week. I mean, we didn't have the check back, and that would be like 68 cents, but look at this pattern. I kind of like it. I might start a position in it today. Maybe I should buy it right now. What? I mean, listen, what do we need? A couple thousand shares? 5,000 shares, 10,000 shares, and get that to work. We've seen a few of them. Hold on. All right, because I've been talking about it's CX app. 73, 75. Yeah. I'll buy 1,000. I'll start a position right here, right now. No, why not? Let me get 3,000. There you go. 3,000. And then we'll follow this. Because this is an example exactly of the type of low floaters. Low floaters that are absolutely working out. What are we here? Wait, let me go 73.5. Hold on. Let's go 3,000. All right, you can check your time and sales here in a second. This one, you guys front run. You ran me. There you go. Okay, so there's other ones like this that have started to really run. I know Ponzi was talking about open, and look at that, up at 10.23. Amazing. Is he in here? No, but congrats. That's one I know I brought up a while ago. I could never get on there. He was bugging me back in July about it, and this was another perfect opportunity. It skyrockets, comes all, that was 4 or 5. 50% correction. There's your oversold trigger. Go. There's a few of those. And then you've got things like, all right, so I'm going to throw names at you that you guys might not have heard of, but I have, and now they're being realized. Bloom Energy is one of these that it's a Bloom box, an energy modular generation power. And this is something, theme-wise, idea-wise, guys, with AI, the play for power is going to be huge. And so green energy, solar, nuclear, even coal plays. I mean, I think it's fully on. This one got away from me, but I'm not anymore. But I think it's an example of the tan trade which is the solar ETF and maybe some of those others. But look at this chart, guys. That is what can happen with major plays like that. So what are more ideas? We talked about TAN last time. Again, the solar ETF, 42.56. I'm just saying this is really quick, really close to being able to bust out and start a full type 1. All right, and this is another one. Look, multiple year downtrend. Go back to December 20. That is almost over, and we're almost out of the zone, but look at the action since the breakout. Looks really good. You know, just that's where you want to be, to the right of that downtrend. Couple more. Oh, yeah, end phase is something, we have just watched this thing plummet, and check out end phase. This is probably going to be a 3 ideas for my crew. All right. Big crab pattern. No confirmation, but I'm certainly looking at this low 30 level. That's weekly as well. And we've seen a lot of these, like First Solar, Solar Edge. That was 12 at the low and then popped back off. So these are, again, monster patterns, guys. They've just many, many monster patterns all setting up. BTU, you mean Peabody Energy? BTU? Not bad. Yeah, I think they're all in play. That's a nice type 2. Weekly, nobody's looking at that. But the energy plays are coming back. Here's Fuel Cell, that was a low floater people played with forever. Okay, what's going on there? I know split adjusted, what have you, but people have been, these can catch a bid. Yeah, look. Look at that. So there's a ton. There is a ton of these. The ones that I showed you guys. Also, I had Wolf Speed. I'm looking to get back into Wolf Speed here. I had that at 250, and I got stopped out at like 280, but I'll take another shot down here. Wolf Speed is this. Another kind of bankrupt chip player trying to come off of this massive hop at 82 cents. It's going to need time. But low floater okay, and get above 325, 330. This thing goes. Looking to get back into that. A couple more. Caesars. CZR with the butterfly. Yep. All right. 2350. But that's weekly. Again, that's going to take time, guys. I like it. I definitely like it. And if you're willing to be patient, it's probably under 2350. But like a lot of these that have eventually turned around, so let me show you the big turnaround play, which is Intel. And I think Intel, I'm back even now, which I told you guys I've been in a loss position for this for 18 months or more, but I held it. And I normally don't do that, but I'm going to say this has been a lesson and a half. And I didn't add more down here just simply because I felt like such a loser for being in the drawdown. But we did have everything you want to see here. And I think the shark, totally valid. Confirmation that was last month at 19. You're now 30. Target one is 40. And I think there's bigger possibilities. Simply because of what's happening in the chip sector across the board. And they can just rewrite Intel's entire business focus. And that deal they have with NVIDIA now, I think is a sign of what's happening. The lower players that have capacity they're going to get huge deals. And if they have to retool, whatever, make different chips, because that's been Intel's problem. So Intel, again, guys, It's not how I really play the game, but I more and more I'm thinking about this stuff from a longer term perspective. So I'm going to hold on to the Intel position. Let's see if we get, up to T1 by the end of the year, 40 bucks. But that goes higher. And if you're not in Intel, wait for a little hourly, 4 hour pullback. How many of these have popped up, and then set up later? A lot of them. Couple others that we have talked about that are really moving. Clean Spark. That was my number one play, guys. Right? Last time, Clean Spark. What did I say to you? My number one minor play. It's up 16, 17% today. All right? Big stuff. And finally, the other thing that we said about Clean Spark was the whole fact it too had broken this downtrend, that multi-year downtrend. So as simple as that is, it really matters. Go back to 24 April, all the way downtrend, finally break out and go with a shark pattern, no less. That's sweet, okay? That's what you want to see. For sure. A couple others. Yeah, we did Solar Edge. I just think Solar Edge is, you can maybe start to buy it here. I'm waiting for a pullback for like a full on go, but I think Can and the rest of these are going now. For Solar, same thing. I will say that, listen, Coinbase and MicroStrategy are probably the two reasons why crypto is going to see some new action after being silent for a month. Coinbase 4 hour was HSI at 296. We're now 345. Guys, this is it. Today's big breakout move, at least go fill some gap at 375. That's one. And MicroStrategy. It just wasn't doing anything, but it was a perfect HSI oversold here at the low end of the channel. That was here at what? 335, now 353. That's big development. That's big action off the low end. I expect that to be the start of that bigger move. Come on. Let's go. Look, the downtrend is, again, if it's crypto, if it's an individual stock, what have you, this is going to be an important consideration. If it's just a retracement, where does it resume the continuation? You got to break out of that downtrend today there. Sweet. I mean, we've been looking at this for 2 weeks or more. It's just a matter of time. There you go. What's up, Red? Rumble? I haven't checked in there. Is that ready? That's ready. I'd say so. 4 hour time frame. Well, here's another. Okay, remember, like a lot of these, we had big surges up. They come back. Look at Rumble. Let's go, Rumble. That's a type 2 on the 4 hour at 785. You could fat finger right now. I like that. You're looking for the type 2 to resume. And there you go. Yeah. Nice, Red. Thank you very much. That might be one of the nicest type 2s we've got going right now. Look at that, guys. The 1 right back goes to target 1. XA level 785, confirmation 785. Goes to target 1, 1026, confirmations 1080, confirmations like 1060. Back down. There's T2. And then the dot, which was about, 4 weeks ago. That's all right. A little overspill. And again, sometimes the zones will require this, but just run your trend line. Think of it like this. Here's your zone. Where's the zone? Give me a zone. Okay. Here's the XA level. There's T2. There's the dot. There's the area to look, but we're still on a downtrend from 2 months ago. Give it a couple of bars, break it out, get from that down the get to the right of this downtrend constraint, and then start looking over here. Your main numbers are here, 750, 770, but you're looking for something like that. I still say that's valid. I mean, that's still valid entry material anywhere in that box, but that's a great one. Again, stacking them up like this, being there as it happens, and kind of consolidating in that 3-5 window, 7-10 window max is all we need. Yeah, Lyft did go massive, and that makes me wonder if we shouldn't be looking at the others. Look at Lyft. Yeah, 22. I always equate Lyft as like the little brother, like Snap is to Facebook, Lyft is to Uber. But it's a big move. I think there is a big pattern down here on Lyft. Monthly or weekly, there was some monthly oversold. But short, low floater, alert. Um, what was that low? That was 8. But what about like, how about Grab? There's Grab popping, guys. That could be something else where, look, downtrend forever. Finally, here's a secondary kind of higher move where this could be it. Break out here and then, start something for a larger recovery. 8, 9, 10. Grab holdings. And then if that's the case, I've always wondered why always thought Uber should be higher. I mean, it's up there. Market cap on Uber's like, what is it, 100 and something, 200, 100, yeah, 200 billion. But I'm looking at this kind of stuff too, because if that's popped off, Grab, Uber, look like they're turning around. Snap is the other one where this thing has just been sideways forever. And again, this is kind of like those crypto that are scraping at all-time new highs. There's a pattern here. Now, again, you guys know I want to combine the pattern with the dot to make it easy to where to look. But here's the pattern, the T1. But dot was like at 10. And that's just been sideways for several years now. I don't know. I think there's obviously better plays. This might work out. There's, I think, stuff that is already moving. Like Clean Spark for me has got real potential because it used to be a low floater all the way down here. And look, Clean Spark, big weekly at 5, comes up, retest here, and now we're out of the downtrend, making big progress. That's the difference. That has a lot of development. We're not down here this phase. Yeah, a couple more. Oh, Baidu, Baba. Well, yeah, they continue. Baba 160. That was a crab. I don't know what happened to that, but I think it's Baidu and JD are the ones that are going to play catch up. Oh, jeez. It got to 130. That was $100. What was that? 6 weeks ago, that was 85, 90. But these have been stuck. So this is the kind of the wake-up phase that, for me, here's a weekly chart. And pretty amazing. There is the type 1 back, and then type 2 goes sideways for 9 months and then finally makes it. But that's still within the framework of how we've been looking at Baidu. And then JD.com was the other one where, yeah, that has yet to move. But it's got pretty much everything we want to see. That's a type 2 bat from all the way back here. And now confirmation like 31, 50-ish. Pretty remarkable stuff, guys. A lot of the big patterns we have stared at for a while are now unfolding ideally. Yeah, a couple others. Will BTBT pop? I think so. Maybe we should be looking at that. CleanSpark can run. There's BTBT at $3. Bit Digital still, and you're still looking for 12. I know this hasn't done anything for 2 years, but our assumption is still this is a massive pattern that's going to work out. And actually, it is a type 2 in reality. Either way, you're looking for much higher prices. I like the rest of them. Okay, we need Bitcoin running hard to get this stuff moving. Daily time frame down here. Yeah, okay. I like what's going on there. I mean, I'd be looking under 3. This stuff's very close. You just have to be patient with it, for sure. A couple of the others that where is Binance Coin? Yeah, just switch back because Binance Coin is another one dominating, and I think it's going to be one that we just continue to watch. Gets above 1,000, almost there. Binance Coin is really all about the larger 1618 to 1902 expansion now of like this, there and there. 1618 is coming in. That's like 1,025, 1,030, like that, and then 1902. Okay, focusing on the big markets to make sure the rest of it's going to run. Binance Coin is up there. There's really 15, 20 massive markets, stocks, crypto included, to monitor for to know if this frenzied environment's going to continue. And it is. We still have higher targets to hit. Um, Others index. I know you guys were barking about that. And the others index is like the rest of them. They're just needing time. And to get that time, I think you need to get Bitcoin, Ethereum breaking out. Others index is still the move up to 346, 350 for now, immediately. But the only thing you're really interested in is when this happens. When we can break out of that. And I don't think you're anything but patiently bullish until this whole multi-year, 4-year, 5-year wedge resolves itself to the upside and you get continuing action, price behavior. All right, that's the other story because that's you get above 400, 450 billion, half a trillion, then you're thinking go 1618. And this is I think a longer cycle. We're making this assumption where it's not off of just 2022, but you're going back like more than 5 years. You want to see something like that, 1618 to 800 billion. That's all of them. Like you want to see mass allocation. That's how it happens. It's like the semiconductors, okay? How do we get NASDAQ to go to 26.5 or 27,000 to do its massive 1618? The semiconductors charge it. That's how it goes. With this, let Bitcoin start ripping, and then we can expect these kind of follow-through moves. The rest of them, if you're looking for your little S coin, T coin to go, I think you're still in the waiting game. What's the a couple of the people have been, oh, I don't know, what is that Pangy? People sending me this Pengu thing, Pengu meme coin. I don't think I'm gonna have any of those meme coin anymore. Even try at those. Is this Pengu? And someone sending this to me. I was like, why? With everything going on, why? Why? This is just, why? So I want to be clear about that. This, maybe if it was a year ago, and here is a 4 hour type 2 bat, but we want other stuff. Like, here's the Tron chart, and I've talked about this for a while, that, this had a really nice, oh, it did do that, had the crab and then came back. Look what happened here. And Tron's just did exactly what we talked about with reaction down. We almost got to target one, not quite, and then right back. But for Tron, again, it's above here and really go into price discovery, mainly because you are just steadily rising on this uptrend for the last 2 years. It's still one of the nicest trending charts. I mean, people talk poorly, it seems, about this at times, but it's a hell of a trend. It's a hell of a chart. And you're looking for really breakout above prior all-time highs for stuff like this. The other one, guys, Chainlink is the other one that is a beautiful chart, finishing this correction right now. All right, we're stuck at the 25 level because it's a big bat pattern. But if we're looking for things that can launch, it's kind of like, can you get to 19 and finish the reaction and then really go? Resolving this kind of bunched up history, it's, go back to here. And I still say this is a really nice chart. It's taking its time, but when you start breaking out, you really don't have much above, say, the 25 level. You get above there, and this is your second attempt, then you're going to 40 or 50. Just time. And it's a lot of chop. I mean, this is the difference, I think, with crypto. The ups and downs can wear you out. If that was a stock, people, would just say, oh, it's too choppy, too whatever. No, it's banging points multiple times before it goes to the next level. Yeah. I agree with that. I like that Rumble thing. I do really like that Rumble. I appreciate that. I might actually snatch some of that up. Because I think Rumble is an example of, those kind of turnaround plays like Rigetti at 11 or Bloom Energy at 22 or 24. All right, couple more, guys. I was able to get started around decent time today. What about gold? What's up, Lawrence? Let me look at Doge really quick, and then I'll go to gold. Doge, 28 cents. Again, I have a lot of history with this, and I have to say at this point, this is a very similar uptrend. Impressive now. And, don't want to admit that, and I don't understand what the angle is other than maybe they're going to realize some utility someday with Elon. But in terms of time, I think that's what you're looking at, where you could come back to 20 cents or even 15 cents currently at 28. I think you're close. 30 cents is a big level. The daily is like this with a Gartley. And so for now, you know what I'm going to say. Reaction. Give it a reaction, and then, like a lot of them that we have talked about, react down, target one, and then go, and something like that. So if you really want Doge, need Doge, it's something like that. Cardano is the, another one. Just kind of. Oh, 1 second here. Where did we go? Cardano's like this. Back at 92 cents. That has been the 5.0 target altogether. And I don't expect Cardano to bust it just yet. So the shark, the 5-0, we're back at that target. Just watch it. Above 105, 106, then Cardano really has chances to do stuff. And this is, I think you've had enough time here where this was probably a dud a year ago or 18 months ago, where you're just saying, hey, this thing needs more development. Well, you got it. I mean, I'm impressed, and I think this is a real new uptrend. You're looking for something like this to happen in Cardano, and then just get on an accelerated move well above $1. Is it down here? Meh, maybe not yet. Yeah, in the daily. It's a daily shark to 5-0. But they're higher. At least that's not at its all-time lows. I can deal with that. Couple more. Okay, hold on one second. Hold on. All right. Let's look at gold, sure. Gold's like this. Currently trading. Where are you, gold? Off 40 today. No biggie. And here's the strategy looking for entry points on gold. Okay, the 4-hour time frame is it. Now this just popped up. I thought this was really interesting. This crab pattern just popped up. And we're getting a dot today. And I love it. I'm really happy to see this structure. Tells me this thing's not quite going as crazy as maybe I assumed. But it's kind of like this. Your June summer correction, which is really common. Seasonal time for gold is always November to February. And then you get the bulk of it and you get a depression like in summer, mid-late summer, which is what you had. And now you start the return move. Well, here's that 1618. And for now, let's let that kind of chill. Cap 3,700. Come on back 3,550. And this is where then things set up. Like a lot of the other bearish patterns we've seen. Come back to target one and then blast from this retest. We go to 4K. That's how this should fail. You take it into like, January, February. It's something like you're like that. It's going to happen, I think, a lot sooner. You're not waiting around. 4K is in sights. It's in the sights. GCX. What's up, Frash? Where have you been? I haven't seen you in a while, man. Good to see you. Welcome back. GCX. What is GCX? GCX, gold. That's gold futures. Yeah, that's what we're talking about here. Silver. Interesting. Silver is the play. And silver, I think, is the catch-up play. Now check out another crab pattern. And it was a heck of a move. We were looking at 45. It got to 43. I'm not worried about it. Come on back to 40 and change, 40.90, something like that. And then get ready for the return move. This 40 move here is just like what we had back at 37. And that's not going to stop. Silver, guys, is on the monthly chart. Really interesting at target 2 at 42.70 off this bat. We talked about this bat. We have it on SLV. So the point is this. Things are going to go crazy in metals. Gold's going to go crazy. Silver's going to go crazy. Where do they really go crazy? For silver, it was above 33.50. For gold, it's above this T2 at 42.70. You shoot. This is the first test. Literally last week or so, first test. Great. And what is that? That's the 618 off. It's an all-time 618. That's usually what target 2 is, like this. Not a big surprise. Something like that. 618, like right there. Okay, but this has more of the bat type feature. 886, B points at like a 50, and you've already broken it out. So the metal trade is for real. It helps Bitcoin and the rest of the asset allocation, asset inflation story, and crypto in general. A little pause here after those patterns, but then again, I think once you have the retracement, let these pull back, you're going to have the next big buy. The dots have been really friendly too. Silver's been, I think, just working incredibly well with stuff like here and here. So we'll get another one somewhere around 40, and then it'll send it. One or two more. What about crude oil? What's going on there? Because the thing that I keep looking at or coming across is the need for energy. How we are not set up for what they want to do with AI. I mean, they could build out all the chips in the world, but if they don't have the capacity to run it, it's going to be a problem. Well, you would think that if that's going to be dramatic, crude oil, the rest of them would be trending. Maybe soon. I don't know. I've been looking for this. I was thinking, what if we could get some kind of massive flush off this deep crab to get a type 2 right here at 26? Because this deep crab, it was the big 1618 throwdown off of the 98 low. That was the bottom run to the high in '08. The number's 26, but we did get some confirmation. That was like 2 months ago. That's like around 57. So keep your eye out that we come down. I still say we should be mid 50s. But coming into next year, okay, crude oil is going to resolve this one way or the other. And if it's to the upside, then we could be looking for a lot of these stocks to go too. They haven't moved. And I wonder how much longer they can stay stuck without moving. Like, ExxonMobil, it's up here, all-time new highs almost, hasn't moved in 4 years. And I don't think that's really going to retrace much. I mean, I think this is looking to kind of do a new leg that makes this a new accelerated uptrend multi-year. And that's what it seems like. Or you guys know Chevron. Those are the two main ones. I mean, big patterns up here. They're not moving. I mean, it's remarkable. Been watching that forever. The refiners, Valero, it was a long idea for us all the way back down at 195. Now it's 162. And look at that monthly. 167. It was, here you go. Wasn't too long ago. We were down here with that butterfly. 115, hop at 108. So some are moving, others that aren't moving that, as things maybe spread out, or let's say crude oil catches a bid, maybe finally stuff like this will get going, Apache. I mean, that's been stuck for a long time. Look at this. There's the monthly here. Pretty interesting stuff. The problem with these long-term patterns, these kind of monster, that's why I wanted to talk about big monster patterns today, is they can take years till they really are, turn into something. And this is a lot like that. I mean, really, we've got quite a few patterns, generally 12, 15, 20 bucks tops. But this isn't going out of business. So where is the cycle rebound? Because you're about there. I mean, you go back 20 years, you're talking massive 886 retracement. or Baker Hughes. And that wasn't it. No, that was not it. Was it Baker Hughes? Well, yeah, Baker Hughes, because you have this. It's a type 2. Hasn't done anything. Oh, no, that's Black Hills. Where's Baker Hughes? Hold on. Hold on. Baker Hughes. BKR. Right, BHI. Oh, that one's run. But there are a lot of these that they're ready to turn around if oil turns around. What was the other one? ConocoPhillips. So I'm thinking that we get through. We're going to continue this tech craziness. We're going to get into some crypto craziness with all the big patterns. All right. And then probably should be looking to roll into other stuff like that. Yeah, ConocoPhillips, $90 is a big bat pattern. Expecting them to continue break out all-time new highs from where they are now. One or two more. Can't get away without saying Disney, guys. Maybe it's time. Disney's big patterns. Another one has not done much for a long time. But the monster patterns. Come on, where's the monthly here? Oversold. Where's the big? It was a daily. Yeah. For the last 2 years, smash between 120 and 90. 115 right now. But I think Disney's yet another one. $100, maybe one more time, and then go again. There's just a lot of these. The ones that have been stuck for years, they're turning around. Others that are breaking out, they're continuing. Again, mostly semis. A whole bunch to look forward to, people. I really think this is exactly the kind of action we want to see going into this time of year, hoping we get retracements along the way. If Bitcoin, I didn't even look at Ethereum. It's jumping all over the place, but Ethereum held the bat at 4,200. All right, remember this? There was this 4-hour bat pattern, 42.38. There's T2. Well, now we have this delayed HSI. You can almost look at that as like a secondary confirmation. And I would bump up support levels to 4,500 going forward. I think Ethereum is going to be above 5K 30 days or less. Building. I mean, what it did this summer, amazing. And then the end result is that we're just kind of just up here at all-time new highs, forming bullish oversold continuation signals. A lot going on there. Yeah. Thoughts on regular versus log scale? I'm not a log scale guy. I know people look at Bitcoin in particular on the log. I just think, it would look like this. Okay, and again, you're talking more of like the weekly or long-term monthly levels to catch the difference, because there you go. There's log scale on Ethereum, but proportionally, it's really tough to work it out. That's 100, that's 4,500. I mean, monthlies even skews it even more. I'm more just straight up arithmetic charts. There's daily. Yeah, daily, even log scale. I mean, there's a interesting, it's got a crab pattern here. But even that hop 5,600, I just think Ethereum at 4,200 is the continuing support. Now bump that to like 45. We're going to bust through this. Circle back here. Bitcoin, guys. Leave you with this. Look, 111 has been the number all along for the last 2 months, right? 118 was the return move. So we're there. We're there. If we roll over and we come back to like 114, 113, no biggie. But I would be looking for kind of whatever the next oversold 4 hour time frame is coming into September before October or end of September. That's a big deal. That is a big deal. So all of this, where we are now, I say, let's just say, okay, mission accomplished. We hit the target, what we've been talking about for the last couple of weeks. Now, let's get that final pullback before we run. Yeah, well, Ethereum and Bitcoin running. I still say Bitcoin first. Bitcoin first. There's ETH Bitcoin up here, just shy of the 4 mark, 0.04, and it's still this monthly bullish pattern. So hey, that helps the argument. What's the premise here? Well, you want the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio moving in the Ethereum favor, because then that will spread out to the alts, T coins, whatever, and get them running. If we're going to apply framework, guys, okay, the recovery reaction is a minimum that helps it, but where can it really accelerate? Above T1, and I do think we can get to T2, but it's above that 4.4. That's going to be like, I guess, another like barometric reading of what's going on. We know we get above 4.4, then we're accelerating. Then you really do have money flowing back into the rest of the market versus Bitcoin. But Bitcoin, wherever that happens, I think Bitcoin should be trending all-time new highs. This is better than the dominance chart, in my opinion. You really want to kind of understand when that possibility will occur. It's above target 1. Uh, hey, thanks for that. Appreciate that. I don't know what you mean by that, but absolutely, I think you mean the opposite. Um, I don't know why you'd even be here, but it wouldn't be here if I wasn't here. So, yeah, whatever. Get the software, my man. That's all I can say. Good luck to you humans. You got it, man. Good luck to you too, buddy. As we're going to just kind of excuse you. It's so funny that you would say that, though, because everything I do and give away, and so let's hear. I'll leave it up for you, but let's use that for the positive here, and say, okay, get the free trial. All right, everything you need is here. Send your TradingView username to hpc at sr-analyst.com. All right, and everybody but Mr. Vols, who wants to get 30 days. Type in HPC 30. But everybody else, look, get the basic materials here. Become a basic member over on harmonictrader.com, but it really is all with working with the software. Send your TradingView username to hpc at sr-analyst.com and then harmonictrader.com. So start there. It's all free. You can join the Discord. I'll put that link too. I posted videos in that Discord. So again, if you're new, it's all free. Start there for a couple of weeks. I guess so. It's tough. You know what, you guys? Anybody want to vent? You go ahead and vent. I can take it. Hey, Mr. Isire Abandon, you win. So you got to send me a note on Discord, and I'll set you up with the 30 days for the license. It's okay. I've been through a little worse than a couple bad comments. You guys know why we're here. All right? Doing a harmonic thing, because where else are you going to get this information? Like, the harmonic thing, hey, you can integrate it with other methodology strategies, but looking at pattern alignments, understanding extreme overbought, oversold conditions to define opportunities like we've been doing left and right. Again, I just, it's a value add. And if you don't see the information, if it doesn't click with you, that's cool too. because we're in a whatever works industry, guys. It doesn't matter. I like to measure the market. I like to measure the movements, analyze them, and understand where we are within the overall trend. And with that, let me finish up with S&P 500 because it didn't even get to that or the Dow. But S&P 500 just continues to prove and unfold within the scenario we have talked about of being a big reaction and then a failure to run to the 1618 extension, which is 690. We're 663. And on this move, the bigger possibilities, I think so. But for right now, again, that's where we are. We've made a lot of progress. And I would even say this, like above the 50 level here on your monthly, okay, we can just ride that. That's HSI, guys. That's HSI. And until that, and as long as that persists, we're going to have an underlying current of, continued upside with this market. It's big breakout material. I know people are saying it's overbought. I know people are in a pissy mood. Okay, but this is the opportunity we have always talked about. And I say that as the futures just hit 6,700. And our target's 7K minimum, 7,100. Sometimes, yes, the narrative, the news, it gets really kind of convoluted. But hanging in there to kind of make these opportunities come to fruition, which is really why we spend the time to do here, feature the software, discuss harmonic ideas, okay? Because, yeah, this stuff's new. In the relative discourse of technical analysis in the last 100 years, this stuff's been around really like 25. But tremendous amount of information to be gleaned from what we do. And I think, you guys all get that. Everybody else, I wish you all the best no matter what. So that's what I have for today, folks. Yeah, hey, nothing better. No sweeter revenge than success and making money. Seriously. It just doesn't even matter, guys. And that's the only thing I'm really, of everything the last week or two, I'm going to say be selfish for yourself and your family. Maximize what you can do. The markets are giving us ample opportunity in ways that no other job is going to give it to you. You got to do both. But that's what I have. So, again, stay with it. We'll be back on Tuesday, guys. If you have any questions, get over in the Discord. Any other questions also with the software, with that, take the trial for free. Take 2 weeks, get up to speed, and then reach out to me. All right? I'm going to get a little late lunch, and I will see my crew back in the Discord a little later. Looks like up, looks like NASDAQ just bottomed at 30. Leave you with this. Let me see here. What was that? Looks like that last one just triggered. 30. Yeah, there you go. Oh, it was, yeah, here's the crab. This is what I started with too today. 7:30. So, and I'm looking for this thing back to 810, 820. We're probably hop level, guys, by the end of the day. Just keep that in mind. Come back. We got to retest this stuff. So, markets are still up. Let's see how high they are by Tuesday. Until then, have a great one. Have a great weekend.